Good morning. Well, I usually am a passionate speaker, but when I don't read, if I read, the passion is not as, as present. But in my actual work, and people do know me, and in Vailo, indeed, I try to compensate for the complex times that we live, for our social policies, with the passion and with the connections that we can use. So that being said, Ivailo, thank you for a wonderful event, wonderful venue. Thank you to you, to your team. Such an inspiration just to be here with you, and we have sunshine as well. Dear ministers, I'm very happy to be joined by you as well. Dear Lee Anderson, one of our great partners in the European Parliament, the chair of the Employment Committee. Professor Saskin, but I don't know if he is around. Is he around? It's my big frustration, and I will go home with it, that I was unable to attend his speech last evening and now as well, because I had some bilaterals, but we are working to extract a lot of value from his work, and I'm very happy that he was part of this agenda. Dear representatives of governments, dear social partners, representatives of civil society, ladies and gentlemen, and dear colleagues, it is really a pleasure to be here to celebrate with you in Dublin, in Ireland, the anniversary of the Eurofound, and to be part of the 8th Foundation Forum. These two moments come together in a time that Europe really needs your work, your passion, your research, your data. And of course, I heard a bit the speeches yesterday and today, the discussions about a human-centric policy, about a human-centric approach to AI, the discussion about balancing competitiveness and social progress. They are here among minds and ears and approaches that favor this kind of discussion and combination. Not as easy to discuss about them in other contexts and to translate them into concrete policies, but challenging and interesting and offering us a lot of space to deliver for Europe, because I really believe that we need to modernize, we need to progress, and we need to do that keeping in consideration, or having in consideration the fact that people are at the center of our quest for competitiveness, that it is for the people that we are trying to be more profitable, stronger leaders in different sectors. It is for the people that we want to innovate, and we've always done so by respecting social rights and by integrating everybody in the process, and that's the mindset that we want to keep in our work in Europe. Now, going back to the anniversary of Eurofound, half a century, that's quite a milestone, and we should pause and reflect on it, because over these 5 decades, Europe has changed a lot. My speech says that Europe's changed beyond recognition. I would never say that. We can always recognize Europe. There's something about us beyond our culture. It's our social model. It's how we are, not just who we are, that I think has not changed, but it has changed. And talking about the European Union, from a small economic community of 9 to a single market, a single currency, and a union of now 27, and let's see what enlargement brings about. As more than numbers, but yes, numbers matter as well in terms of transformation. Through all of this change, Eurofound has been a constant presence, helping us understand Europe's evolving world of work and giving policymakers the evidence that we need to improve people's lives. Eurofound's research has always been essential to the European projects. Its work, its activity on working conditions, on industrial relations, on employment, on the quality of life, have been able to shape countless lives. The involvement of social partners in your work and in the governance of Eurofound is one of the greatest strengths of your institution. It helps us translate our priorities into action grounded in facts. So I really want to thank you, Ivailo, and all current staff, past staff, all the teams that are here now, that have been working before in the Eurofound team, for an excellent cooperation, for your support. And I do hope, like your logo says there, that we can build on your past work and on your activity to shape even better future policies and the future of European project. Now, the theme of today's session could not be, of course, more timely. We are living in challenging, again, my speech says turbulent times. I think it's challenging times. Out of crisis, Europe emerged stronger. Of course, it's unprecedented that we face multiple challenges at the same time. But out of challenge raises, Europe can raise stronger, can grow stronger. We see that our competitiveness and our security are being challenged by geopolitical tensions, by economic divides, and we sometimes hear that competitiveness and social well-being are, two different directions. It's either or, and I really disagree with this approach because, as you've mentioned here, but again, this is one room, Europe is a bigger place, the world is a bigger place. A competitive Europe, a social Europe are actually two sides of the same coin. What I would add to this message is that we need to continue to work so that this is true not just in Europe. Our biggest trap is that we discuss, of course, just about our social model and how in Europe we want to highlight that the main ingredient of competitiveness is social progress. But we cannot be separated from the rest of the world. Everything that we do, we need to translate into our presence in the international arena, in the global arena, because it is about how Europe can be competitiveness in a world that has the same rules. Or you cannot do it if it's just Europe that supports a social model. So we need to really champion this beyond our borders, and this is a message that I've given in all international contexts until now as well. But yes, we are focused on what we do better here at home. We had the Draghi report, we launched the Competitiveness Compass. There are elements that show where we are and how we need to move forward and with what speed and in what direction. But we do face real challenges. And we're looking at our labor markets on the one side. They look strong, they have good employment rates, low, the lowest unemployment rates as well. But we still need to look at structural, deeper programs that affect our growth and that ultimately do make us less competitive than other players on the global arena. We look at our stagnating labor productivity compared to non-EU economies. We look at the fact that 1 out of 5 workers is in low-wage jobs in sectors with limited productivity growth, and 1 in 12 workers is at risk of poverty. We see sizable labor and skills shortages. They are expected to increase, actually. We see underperformance in basic skills, and that affects as well the performance of our labor force and the ability to adapt to an AI, digital-driven world of labor. We want to remain competitive, we want to sustain our social model, but we need to be ambitious on both fronts. So that's why first, we're looking at quality jobs, starting from decent minimum wages. And we had a good day, I think, on November 11 with the ruling of European Court for Justice on the minimum wage directive, which stands and which is an important tool to make sure that we had adequate minimum wages in Europe. They can raise productivity by driving companies to innovate, and statutory minimum wages increases largely offset the loss of purchasing power. Second, beyond quality jobs, discussion about human capital overall is important. We need to address skills shortages with a focus on occupations in strategic sectors for the European Union economy. We will strengthen the vocational education and training and tertiary education in STEM. We need to look at how to increase advanced AI literacy and critical thinking to promote the supply of STEM teachers and to incentivize work-based learning. We need to reduce barriers to entry of professions and ensure faster recognition of qualifications in strategic sectors for the European Union and third country nationals. On the other side, looking at EU's policy priorities and Eurofund's contributions, skills and quality jobs are 2 overarching priorities that will guide our work in the rest of this mandate. With the Union of Skills strategy that we launched in March and the Quality Jobs Roadmap, that we will adopt in the next weeks. On both fronts, of course, we count on Eurofund contribution. The Eurofund surveys on European companies and working conditions give excellent snapshots of employer skills requirements, of employees' views, and the restructuring trends that we see. And Eurofund work has also provided the basis that we need to measure what a quality job truly means in today's economy. Looking ahead, one of the most exciting developments is the creation of Eurofund's data lakehouse, about which we speak a lot in the Commission with the colleagues in the services, this new interagency data sharing platform. This is more than an IT project. I see it as a new way of working across agencies. It will break silos and give us a single, coherent view of our labor market, of transitions, of skills that we need to anticipate. And this will be especially important for the fair transition and skills intelligence observatories. It will also make these insights more visible, not only with the Commission, but also with national policymakers, social partners, and the public. And I hope all agencies will continue to work closely on this to make it a real success. Also, I would refer to important initiatives and how they correlate with Eurofund work for next year. First, the anti-poverty strategy. We will launch next year the first anti-poverty strategy. And one of the first things that we want to look at is how to strengthen the European Child Guarantee. And Eurofund work in this field is and will continue to be very helpful. With your next Quality of Life survey, it will help us follow up on the strategy as well. Then the second initiative that is very important for 2026 is the Fair Labor Mobility Package, where we want to combat fraud, and we want to, with the help of the package, we want to be able to tackle abuse, to tackle social dumping, to tackle elements related to subcontracting chains that lead to social abuse and social dumping. So I want to praise Eurofund's research on safety standards and working conditions in the construction sector, for example, which is really important and guiding our reflection. These are just two beyond quality jobs. These are just two of the priorities that I mentioned for next year. But indeed, we count on Eurofund research on all the priorities of the college. Housing was mentioned here by the Taoiseach as well and by ministers in my bilaterals. Housing is an important priority at European level, but it's crucial in communities, in context of member states. I am also contributing to the work of Commissioner Jorgensen on the affordable housing plan, because I want to be able to deliver solutions for student housing, social housing, homeless people. Of course, the concept is much wider, but we can do things from European level that are relevant. State aid rules, public procurement, financing support, not just exchange of best practices, leveraging private investments as well. So there are a lot of priorities where we create synergy and where I think we can use a lot of Eurofund research and a lot of your work, and we will continue to do so that we serve our European citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a milestone like this that is an occasion to really look back and see how far that we've become. But also it helps us to look forward at the road ahead. The coming decade will test our ability to adapt to demographic shifts, to new technologies, to changing industries, but it will also test our commitment to fairness, to inclusion, and to solidarity. We need to defend and promote our social model, and we need evidence, we need data, we need analysis. Of course, we also need a lot of dialogue, not just social dialogue, first of all, but also dialogue with stakeholders, dialogue between countries and member states. And that's why I treasure so much the work of Eurofund, the context of its work, how it's organized, and how it builds its work and then delivers it. It's an opportunity to restate that evidence-based policy is the best kind of policy, even as we are looking at a landscape that is a bit disruptive, and I come back now a bit to the beginning of my speech to conclude with it. The main challenge that we have on our table discussing the modernizing of our world of work is how we deal with AI, how we deal with algorithmic management, how do we deal with the idea of not just an AI assistant, but AI as a boss, as a team leader? This is the main conversation that is happening at European level right now, and how well we will be able to have simple rules to support innovation, to support our companies, to reap the full benefits of AI, but also remain human-centric and protect the rights of workers. This is the main, I think, conversation, and it's not an easy one, but data is so essential in delivering adequate responses for this conversation. Because, as I said it in one college meeting, because we have a lot of policies that we put forward on digital to simplify, to make it easier for companies to innovate, I said this: we do understand that AI is maybe like the rain or like the sunshine. It's not something that you can avoid. It's just something that you should reap the benefits of. But sometimes you need sunscreen, sometimes you need an umbrella, and sometimes without it you go dry and you die. So not to be very dramatic and exaggerated, but this is, I think, an important start of conversation, and I'm looking forward to having our agencies and your work part of our policy making, because we need it more than ever. Thank you very much. I wish you a very inspirational rest of the day. Sorry that I had to read my speech, but then it helped me deliver a number of the messages that I wanted to. Many of you I know, the rest I will maybe get to know in different contexts throughout this mandate. Count on my support and count on my devotion to our cause, to have a social agenda, not just in Europe, but across, that shows that competitiveness is done through people, by investing in people, and by upholding their rights. Thank you so much.